Hello guys, welcome back to another collectible review. This time we have another retro review, which is the Hot Toys Predator 2 City Hunter 2.0. Again, another favorite in the collection. It does have a little bit of flaws, and obviously we'll get into it. I think if you're new to collecting Predators and want to hop on and buy some, I would probably advise not to, just because the price points are insane now. But I think this will probably be last on the list to purchase, just because I think this one comes with a bit more issues compared to the other ones I've done. The Classic, the Wolf Predator, the Yautja, which would soon be after this one. I think those ones are much better. This one probably has the most inaccurate parts on it, and it is a bit of a flimsy figure. Out of all the Predators, I would say this one hasn't held up the best. Which also hopes in the future for maybe a 3.0, or even if another company such as like InArt or another 1/6 scale company does the Predator line, because I do think out of all the stuff that are getting reissued and do need a little bit of updates and enhancements, it's definitely the Predator line. As much as I love them, they do need a little bit of updating. And for you collectors that have this, you can see that mine is obviously holding two things at once, which was one of the issues that this particular Predator had, where you couldn't hold the combi stick and the skulls. I'll get into how I got around with that, which again isn't the best in terms of if you want the full complete package out of the box, you have to probably hunt like I did to get it completed like this. But yeah, if you guys do enjoy this, make sure you like, subscribe. Actually, I don't usually do this with my reviews, but I've done a lot of Predator stuff in terms of movie reactions and also the Predator comic discussions. So I've done a lot of comic book readings here and there. So if you guys want to check it out, what I've done with them. My recent one was the Bad Blood Predators and basically Concrete Jungle, which was the original pitch for this movie in the comic version. For people that don't know, Concrete Jungle inspired Predator 2 here, and obviously the City Hunter. So if you want to check that out as well, I'll leave it down in the description and maybe in the comments down below. But yeah, if you guys do enjoy this, make sure you like and sub. I'll let him spin around one more time and we'll get close up and into the movie comparisons. So we got the Head-Sculpt here, and again, for you diehard Predator 2 fans like myself, you can see that there's a little bit of inaccuracies here with the Head-Sculpt. The coloring is probably the main issue, because I think the sculpt is fine. There should be a couple of battle damage, like bullet dints, like the first Predator movie here, just above the eye, and I think here as well. Later on I'll throw some reference pictures up, but yeah, I think the coloring is the main issue with this particular figure. Even looking at the shoulder blade and the chest piece, it's very dark. I think my harsh lighting is making it look a bit more dark than what it is. It's more like a black mixed with a little bit of brown. You can't really see the brown that much, and I think that's the problem. You can probably just see it here, and maybe just where the eye is here. But I feel like it's not enough. It's definitely not enough compared to what the City Hunter looked like in Predator 2. That's the main problem. accuracy wise, I feel that accessories and the availability of actually holding the accessories is also a massive problem too, which I feel this is the start of like the decline for Hot Toys in my opinion, where it came to this particular City Hunter. Uh, my other Predator figures were pretty good when it came to holding hands and accessories and all that. While this one, I feel like they dropped the ball on it. I think the first one, the 1.0, was better in terms of the bundle you get, but this one's obviously more updated and it's a little bit more accurate, but it's not 100%, if that makes sense. So what I'll do now is I'll actually show pictures of Stan Winston's team behind the scenes for this movie. So I'll show movie references of the mask now. And as you can see, the mask is a completely different color. It's more of a copper, a rusted copper color, where if you look at this one now, the one that Hot Toys have given out, it's honestly nowhere near accurate. And I feel like that's a massive problem, especially for people like me that want the accuracy. I think yesterday or the day before, Dean Knight done pretty much a dry brushing mod for his, and it looks really, really nice. I would do it, and shout out to Dean Knight because he's a legend in the 1/6 scale basically. But I would do it, but I feel like we might be getting more Predator figures on the horizon, and if I want to sell this one, not a lot of people would want a custom paint job. Especially the majority of Hot Toy collectors, they don't want stuff tampered with. So that's the only reason I haven't modded this one at all. Aside from, I'll show it later on what I have modded. It not really big of a mod. It's just more of replacement parts. But yeah. Overall, the sculpt is pretty good. It's missing a little bit of battle damage with bullet wounds on the mask and all that. But yeah, it's the mask 100% that is inaccurate. So what I might do now is I might actually just show screenshots of promotional pictures of Hot Toys of this figure unmasked, because I don't have the unmasked mandibles on me. It's obviously up in the box in the roof, and for you guys that collect a lot of Hot Toys, it's a nightmare digging through all that. So I'll show promotional pictures of the unmasked sculpt. So you get the unmasked with interchangeable mandibles. You also get one with the respirator mask. And I feel they're inaccurate as well. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to throw Stan Winston's team photos once again of the actual prop face of the City Hunter, and you can see it's a little bit inaccurate with the paint jobs. The main problem is also the eyes. Hot Toys were pretty inaccurate with the eyes. They've done it green while it should be a yellowy red. So Hot Toys again were a bit inaccurate with the eye color. The visor is also a good topic as well. So what I'll do is I'll come back to the actual figure here. The eye visors is also a topic of discussion for this particular figure. Obviously here it's not honeycombed, it's just smooth plastic. And it's a bit of a debate of topic, because in some scenes you do see the mask honeycombed. So for example, for reference, where Danny Glover's character opens the mask in the meat locker room, he opens the mask and you can see a really, really close-up shot of the mask, and it does have the honeycombed eyes. But then when I go back to the Stan Winston team photos, the prop mask doesn't really have it. So I'm not too sure if they used multiple masks in the movie, and some had the smooth eyes, and some had the honeycomb. So I'm not too sure. But going back to that other photo where Danny Glover's removing the mask, the honeycomb is much more smaller than the jungle hunter. So maybe it is honeycombed on all the masks. It's just from a further away perspective, you can't see it as much. So yeah, that's a bit of an interesting discussion with the mask. But regardless of the honeycomb eyes and whether all the masks had it or not, the sculpt is a little bit inaccurate with this one, and the coloring is massively different. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pan down to the body and talk about the tailoring, the proportions, the skin color accuracy, and obviously the armor accuracy or inaccuracy, you can say. So what I'll do now is I'll pan down and we'll get to the torso. So we've got the torso here pretty much, and just like the biomask, the coloring on the chest plate, the shoulder plates, the gauntlets, and the belt are inaccurate. And you know, looking at my phone camera now, yeah, it looks pretty bad. I don't think it's that dark. I think maybe the harsh light is killing it, because I'm looking away from my phone and it does have some hints of brown here and there, but it's nowhere near to what the actual movie suit was. And what I might do now is just quickly throw behind the scenes photos and still shots from the movie. And as you can see, the suit proportions is pretty good. Like, this one is way better than the 1.0 from Hot Toys. This is the better proportioned suit. It's just, again, the accuracy of the coloring is the problem. And like I said before, I would paint this copper, but I do feel with newer 1/6 scale companies coming in, I feel like they might tackle this IP again. At the very least, the first movie. Hopefully we do get this one as well. I think the first two are opportunities to make in figure format once again. And that's why, again, I haven't tampered with this as much. But what I basically have tampered with, and I'll show you now, is the left arm can obviously hold the combi stick with no problem, and that was an easy fix. So for people that don't know, the combi stick is this massive stick here. And as you can see, a lot of collectors couldn't hold this because the hand wasn't grasping tight enough for either the skull or the combi stick. So it was a simple fix. I just put a hairdryer on it, positioned how tight I wanted the grip, and ran it through cold water. And I've done that since I bought this figure. So when did I start buying these? Maybe 2016. So it hasn't loosened its grip and it's held up pretty well. Like I said, I've done that a long time ago. And the other thing is, obviously, on the right arm, the original figure that came with hands had no right hand grip, so you couldn't hold anything in the right hand. It was only the side of the wrist blades that you could hold accessories. And I'll show the reference that I've kind of got my influence for this pose, and it's the famous scene on the Eastern Tower where the lightning strikes and all that, and you can see he's holding the skull and the combi stick in both hands. And it's a shame, again, that Hot Toys kind of cheapened out and slacked off and didn't give hands that were kind of ambidextrous, where, like, you know, you can both hold on right or left. So basically what I did was, if you guys have seen my Batman DX19 Dark Knight review, I had the cowl that came with, I think, Selena Kyle, and I basically went on eBay and I found a heap of loose accessories from various Hot Toy figures. So for this case, it was the loose hands basically and skull for this Predator that came in the pack with a lot of other accessories, including that Batman cowl. And all I simply did was just glue the open hand with the skull, so he's permanently holding the skull. So I have the original hands and the original skull, but this was for the accessory pack, so it's basically like just buying double hands. So I got my original ones boxed up, mint basically, and these ones were the loose ones I bought on eBay, and I've glued them together and just pegged it in like usual. So now he's obviously holding both stuff as he basically should, and again, it's a shame Hot Toys haven't done that and kind of, again, cheapened out, slacked off. But it is an easy fix if you're willing to do that basically. So now what I'm going to do now is show photos of, again, Stan Winston's crew, of the actual body itself and the accuracy of the body. And I will give props to Hot Toys for this, because they're pretty accurate with the actual body texturing and all that. Again, it's just the plating and biomask that is color-wise inaccurate. But yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pan down to the display base, talk again about the kind of issue I have with the display bases and these Predator figures. Also, what I'm going to do is, as I'm panned down, I'll show the skull, because again, I have done a bit of paint job on that skull to make it look a bit more gruesome. And I'll show the original one I have that is not tampered with. So we'll get into that. Also, before I forget, I might as well show that the wrist gauntlet can open up and do the rocket gimmick. And as you can see, the computer work is all painted up and nice there. So again, it doesn't need a light up effect to have that illusion. It's again permanently painted like all the other Predator figures. Also, the sash there is pretty accurate with the bones there. Just a little bit closer with the plating. And what I might do is just go a bit down and go to the wrist gauntlets. So the gauntlets again is different to the Wolf Predator. This one still has the, I'm going to be careful trying to cut, but they do retract just slightly. Okay, yeah, you can see it there. So they popped out. Again, very dangerous because they are die cast and they are sharp, and I don't want to cut myself. But I prefer this method than the other version where the other ones peg out and you have different interchangeable sizes, where this one is you pull it and you retract it and that's it. What I might quickly do is just spin him around and just show the accuracy of the combi stick. Again, this combi stick is massive. It looks a bit warped on this angle. I don't know if that's... It's all plastic. If Hot Toys were to do this, or another certain company were to do this, I would love if it is die cast, because it is a bit flimsy, and if you do, if I move it there, if you do slightly touch it, it does start to retract back down. So you kind of have to have it on a even level, or else one side might start to retract and bend back in. But what I'll do is I'll film it like this and just show the screen used version. I think the coloring is a little bit different as well with the accessories. I think they should be a bit more copper, while again this is a bit more black. So yeah, that's pretty much it with again the torso and the accessories. The accessories that he's holding. Again, what I'm going to do now is zoom down to the legs and show the skull more, and we'll get into those details. So this is the base here. Again, the very old school Hot Toys oval base that doesn't really suit this particular figure. I like the oval base, but I think they should have done something a bit more heavy duty to actually hold this. Again, it's a occurring problem with these Predator figures where you have to have them standing like this because they're just so heavy and they're just not clipping on the crotch grabber at all. Like, they're just very, very... Again, I've called these Predator figures bricks for a reason because they pretty much are. They're very heavy figures, and the display base is simplistic and nice, but it's not compatible for this at all. So, like I said before, I have the original skull here, and I might as well zoom into the details of this. It looks nice. It actually looks way better with the lighting I got on this. It looks much more glossy than in person, especially with this harsh lighting I have. So the coloring is really nice. You got really, you know, disgusting muscle fibers and all that. I don't remember who this actually was. Was this Bill Paxton that got trophied? I don't remember. I think it is, because he had this after the train slaughter scene. So I think this is Bill Paxton or someone from that train. I'm only assuming it's Bill Paxton because he was the main star that got killed in that train scene. But yeah, that's basically the skull. Again, really nice accessory. Too bad you can't do what I've done here and have him hold on ambidextrous hands. It has to be this hand and this hand only. So again, that's a bit of disappointment. What I might do is bring this one in. This one, again, doesn't seem... On camera, it doesn't look like I've done a lot, but it is much more glossier than the other one. And again, the lighting's actually doing justice to this one, because without the lighting, this one looks more disgusting and glossy. So basically all I did is just coated it with clear gloss, and this one's stock. But again, on this harsh lighting, it's almost looking identical. But again, with your normal eyes, this one's much more disgusting looking. But yeah, that's interesting. This one looks good in the lighting. Oh yeah, also I just saw that. This is also a nightmare, the actual net gun. I love the net gun, but it's a nightmare to keep on. Again, accuracy wise, this should be copper, like basically everything else. Actually, I think this should be gold, because I'll show the footage of when the net gun is used in the apartment. It's pretty much gold. It's not this color, and I think it's brighter than the suit, which is that copper color. So the suit should be copper, and I'm pretty sure this should be metallic gold. But again, a bit inaccurate here. It's a nice gimmick where the flat hand palm just slides on. The gimmick to put on the leg is actually shit. And now that it's off, I don't think I'm going to be able to put it back on camera, because it's just a really crappy peg system. And I feel they should have just added a magnet. This should have been a magnet clip, and the magnet there, and it just sits on nicely. Speaking of magnet clips, the smart disc as well should have been a magnet clip on the thigh armor there. Again, this is pretty much impossible to clip on. If you look at it different or look at it too long, it just falls naturally. There should have been a magnet running on this, on the outer trim, or even this middle part, to just magnetize onto the thigh armor. So we'll go closer up on the actual smart disc here. And again, another inaccurate piece. It should be copper gold. I'll show the reference up. I don't remember if it should be brighter like this, like the net gun, but it is definitely supposed to be copper. But yeah, accessories are nice, but accuracy is probably the main disappointment in this. Also, it's funny because I watched Dean Knight's video just before, and he did complain about the floppiness of the knee pads, and I actually never really noticed it until now, that the clearance is insane, that it actually doesn't hold on anything, they just float. Like, look at that, that's a bit disappointing. I actually never noticed it because maybe mine were playing a bit of a balancing game and just held like that, but now they've fallen, so yeah, they're a bit disappointing, I'd say. But what I'll do is, if there's any reference pictures of the shin guards, I'll put them up now. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to zoom out and go to my final thoughts, and we'll end this review. So that's pretty much it. These are my final thoughts on the Hot Toys City Hunter from Predator 2. This is the 2.0 version. Overall, I think it's serviceable of a figure, but it does need a little bit of work if you're, again, an accuracy nut like myself. Also, I think the fact that you can't hold the accessories like I've got them now on both hands is really, really disappointing. Also, the base is disappointing too. That's also a negative to the other Hot Toy Predators. I don't think there actually has been a decent stand for any of the Predators from Hot Toys, if I remember correctly. I never had a chance to buy the Samurai Predator, but I think that Predator had an issue too with the stand, where, again, it's just not compatible for the weight of the figure itself. But if you're a casual Predator fan and you're not as hardcore, I guess, for accuracy like myself, again, it's passable. Hopefully we do get either an update from Hot Toys with this version, or again, InArt have said that they're invested with, at the very least, the first Predator movie, and hopefully they do Predator 2 and give us this one as well. Because yeah, I do think, just out of respect of the Predator fans, because we did kind of influence Hot Toys to what they are today. You know, Predator was the first official license they got, if I remember. And it has been a while since us collectors have gotten an update or just a new Predator character release. You know, hopefully with Prey being a universal success, we get the Feral Predator at the least. But again, if we never get a Hot Toys Predator, like I said, this is just serviceable to where you know this is the City Hunter. It's just, again, accuracy wise, it's a little bit off with the suit coloring. Well, the armor coloring. But again, it's still very nice. So that's pretty much it for this retro review. Again, thanks to all the support recently that my videos have gotten. I do appreciate it. If you also want to check my other Hot Toys Predator reviews, I'll link them down in the description. I'll do my movie reviews as well in the description, so you guys can check that out if you want. Also, my Predator commentaries. Again, the City Hunter and Predator 2 are included in those commentaries, so if you guys love the comics like myself and want to see a bit more lore in a bit more in-depth detail, I've got them up too. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, if you guys did enjoy this, make sure you like and sub, and I'll see you in the next one.